Okay, great. Welcome, everybody. This is our monthly meeting for April. And I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome any newcomers that we have. Holly and Beverly, can y'all tell from the participant window if we've got any newcomers?
We do have one guest, I believe Sean Hansen.
Oh,
Welcome.
Sean. Okay. Hey, Sean. Welcome to the meeting. Sean joined us at our last monthly coffee. So he's hopping in just to see what we do. Maybe he'll become a permanent feature like so many other folks. So welcome, Sean. Everybody can reach out to Sean in the chat thing and say your hellos. Okay. So as far as sponsors go, pretty much talk about this all the time. And if you want to, you can go to the YouTube channel and look at one of the earlier meetings in the year where we talk more about the sponsors. I don't want to take a lot of time up tonight other than to say the Greater New Braunfels Art Council is partnering with us to do the youth photography tournament this year. And then Photo Sempre, we have participated in that event 2 years in a row when we could do it in person. And then 1 year we participated in an online version. And the board discussed it at the last board meeting, and we want to reach out what was decided at the last board meeting. And Beverly and Holly, correct me if my memory is not doing me justice, but I believe we were going to reach out to the membership to see if there would be interest in participating in that event again this year as an in-person event. So I believe, Holly, do we have a poll up on Facebook in regard to that, or
Not to
something out?
Not to Photo September yet. I thought we'd bring it up tonight and then we'd follow up this week with members.
Okay, all right, that's good. Let's talk about it. I want to spend the time I would spend talking about all the sponsors just on Photo Sempre. It is a art event that happens in September that is ran by the Photo Sempre organization in San Antonio. It is an international event, and for a artist or organization to participate, the artwork primarily has to be all photography. And there's if you have a physical piece of artwork that is not 100% photography, there's a percentage of it that has to be photography based. Okay, so I guess you could have like a large photograph that you painted on or something like that. So I've never gone down that rabbit hole to see exactly the type of work they get that fits that category. What we've always done is produce works that were photographs in the 16 by 20 arena. Some maybe a little smaller, a few items maybe a little bigger. Okay, and we tend to, when we did it at the Chamber of Commerce or in the Convention Center there in New Braunfels, we had the exhibition there in the main breezeway. We had, I think, close to 40 pieces when we did it at the Art Center. When the Greater New Braunfels Art Council had a brick and mortar location, we had close to 30 pieces. So we want to find out what the temperature of the club is would you be, if you think that you'd be willing to, either you already have three to four pieces of work framed that could go up, or you're willing to print something and get it framed that could go up in the, I guess, I don't have the sizes off the top of my head, but back when we did it, we set a size, nothing smaller than and nothing larger than, and we could address that. But we just need to get the temperature of the membership and see who would like to participate in that. And the way it worked out was the show was up for about 2 weeks. And on the first one, on the last day of the show, we had all the membership come in and we did a meet the artist meet and greet, had some light pastries and some fruit and water. And it was a way of getting people in to see what the club's capable of. And also a proving ground for potential new members as well. The second one we did, we put it up. We had a couple of people kind of man the art center, and when it wasn't us, it was they had someone manning the art center, the art council. But midweek of the first week is when COVID shut us down, and they said no, all non-essential businesses have to close. So we actually closed. We had to close the show down. But we in the first show, nobody actually sold a piece, but we did generate new members. In the second show, we actually sold work. And a couple of our members benefited from the work being sold. The Art Council benefited from a percentage of the sale going to the Art Council. And I think we could have sold quite a few more pieces had we not been shut down so early. Okay, so that's Photo Septembre. If you want to go, you can Google photo. If you're not familiar with it, Google Photo Septembre. And if you go back to, let's see, last year would have been 2021, 2020. I'd go back to 2019 and 2018, and you can find, well, no, it's going to be the 2018 where you'll actually find pictures of our show. And then
2020, we had a video and we had some pictures of the show. We started that show just before.
2020 was the
Down.
online version.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2019 would have been, I don't know. I don't even remember now. But if you go back and look through some of the prior shows, they have links to all the shows from the previous years, and you can find what we put up there. Okay. And I guess for next month, we'll dig out some of the old photos from where we took pictures of everybody hanging around their photos and stuff like that, and kind of give you a better idea. But your board needs input from you, the membership, whether or not we should kill brain cells on trying to pursue this path. So if you don't respond back to us within the next week or so to even let us know that you might be interested, we may not go down that path again this year. Okay, so that's Photo Septembre. Social media sites. We've got, everybody knows we've got social media sites, except for our one guest tonight. And I see the numbers going up in the chat, so it means we've had a few more people, maybe a couple of new people, I don't know. we've got QR codes here. So when you watch the video, if you go to our YouTube channel and watch the video and you go, well, that's a lot of stuff to type in, just take your phone and scan that QR code and it'll take you right to the site. Okay. But this is our webpage. This is our Facebook page. There's the QR code if you want to be taken right to the Facebook page. This is our meetup site, which currently is mainly we're just posting the coffee, the monthly coffee, and the upcoming spring walk, which is on our Facebook page, I believe, and it's in the meetup site as well. And I'll give some details on the spring walk here when that slide comes up. But this site, come June or July, is going to be transformed into for a different purpose. Okay, so your best bet is going to be probably to stick with the Facebook page. Okay, and this is our YouTube site, and this is where we post the videos from the meetings, and any other video. We have a couple of educational videos posted here, and we will be posting more education videos here in the future. Okay, it is now time for the minutes. The way we do minutes is you as a member have access to the website, and you can go click under minutes and meetings and see the minutes for the board of directors meeting, the minutes for each monthly meeting. And for our monthly meetings, we're going to vote to approve them, but we don't read the minutes from the prior meeting because they are there for you to go see at your leisure before we actually vote tonight. So it's time for the approval. And what I need everyone to do is all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Okay. And that's kind of hard to get a real count on that. So anyone wish not to approve the minutes, that would be a nay. And there are no nays. So the minutes are approved. Now we move into the treasurer's report, and this is where we turn it over to Sharon to give us our treasurer's report. Sharon's here, right?
Yes, Sharon's here. She must be muted.
There I am. Okay,
Okay, great, Sharon.
we started,
It's your ball game.
thank you. We started March with $2,531.26. We had $90 in membership fees that came in and were deposited in March. And we had 19 cents in interest, which brought our total available up to $2,621.45. We had no expenses this month. So the ending balance is $2,621.45. I have deposited $80 in April of membership fees that are not reflected here. And we have a pledge to the Greater New Braunfels Art Council that is outstanding for $500 for the proposed youth photo contest. So that's $500 we'll be expending sometime before the contest, I assume. But we don't have the details on how that's to be paid and when and so.
Sharon, I can share the details with you now. If you will make the check out to the Greater New Braunfels Art Council and mail it to me.
Okay,
I need it before the 19th. The 19th is the next board meeting for the council. And at the board meeting, I will present the check to the council to go into the fund for the tournament. That would bring the tournament fund up to $1,000. And I have another potential sponsor that is going to donate somewhere between either $250 or $500. But but that's, and hopefully that'll come through by the 19th as well, so that we can move forward and let the council cut all the checks that need to be cut to fund the tournament.
No problem.
Okay, thanks, Sharon. Okay, and I'll talk more about the tournament later. We have a slide later in the presentation on that. Okay. Does anyone have any questions of Sharon in regard to the financial statement? Great. All right. Thanks, Sharon.
Mhm.
And club business, moving into club business. The Greater New Braunfels Art Council. Okay. We are co-sponsoring with the Greater New Braunfels Art Council the 2022 New Braunfels Youth. Well, that's supposed to be Greater New Braunfels Youth Photography Contest and Exposition. And the reason the word greater is part of it is so that we can go outside the city limits, just like the Art Council does. The Art Council has members all the way over from all those little sub communities out by 281, all the way out to Seguin. And I don't know how far north they go. I don't know if anyone in between New Braunfels and San Marcos is part of the council. But obviously we have some folks down here, down south of New Braunfels that's part of the Art Council and our club as well. So the operating guidelines for any middle school or high school child or youth is anyone within the Comal Guadalupe district, okay, or counties can participate. And let me think if there's let's see. Yeah, as long as they fall within either the home, if they're homeschool and their address is within Guadalupe or Comal, and if they're in a physical school within Guadalupe or Comal, middle school or high school. And I guess any private academy type school, like a Catholic school or something like that, would fall into that category as well. Okay. So the photography tournament is, like I said, middle school and high school. They can submit their entries between the 1st and 8th of May, and they drop the entry off at the public library. Okay. The contest is free. Between the 9th and 13th, myself and 2 other volunteers from the club will do the judging of the entries. The 14th to the 21st, the show's going to be on display. And the 21st, we're going to have the award ceremony there at the library. As far as awards go, there's going to be best in show, first, second, third, and honorable mention. And there'll be cash prizes and ribbons. We have Suzanne has volunteered to help with the tournament, and Anthony is helping by boots on the ground, helping to solicit for donations. So here in the, probably starting next week, I'm going to try to do a weekly Zoom with everyone that is participating in the tournament to get a here's where we're at and what's been done and what needs to be done moving forward. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about the tournament? Has everyone, go
Do you
ahead.
need more help?
Yes, sure do. Suzanne, okay. Suzanne, we haven't met. Tell me you're
I've only been to
new.
one meeting, so.
Okay, great. I was gonna say, tell me you're new this meeting or within a couple of meetings. All right. Well, great.
I'd be willing,
Pardon me?
I'd be willing to help out.
All right, super. I'll reach out to you and we'll set something up, okay? So we can figure out
All right.
what we can get done, okay?
Okay.
Give me half a sec here. Suzanne, are you actually a member or a guest?
I'm a member. I
Okay,
just
great.
joined up last month.
Okay, great, great. I don't think I've got a membership roster with you on it yet, but I could be wrong. Okay. Yep, wrong direction. Okay. All right. This is the second flyer that we have on the contest. The first flyer that went out, the QR code on that flyer directed you to our website to download the 4-page information packet and entry form. Okay. This flyer has a different QR code. And Holly, the QR code on here, did you take that from the old flyer or did you take it from this flyer?
I don't remember, so let me check it.
Yeah, I'm fixing to check. Oh, wow.
Victor, if that's the one you sent me, that flyer, when I scan the QR code, it goes to the Greater New Braunfels Arts Council site, and it goes to the events page on that. And then if you click on the flyer, it opens up to give you the application and so forth.
The one,
Yeah,
the one that I created just goes directly to the document. It doesn't go to any site. It's a storage.googleapis.com. So it's just
okay,
a placeholder for the PDF.
okay. So that's okay, so and that's fine, okay, but for nonprofit related issues, we need to use the QR code on this flyer because it goes directly to the Art Council's website. And like Anthony said, you have to click on the thumbnail of the, I guess, the advertising on the council's webpage to actually get to the form, okay? I know there was some questions about, can you prove your 5013C? And we're not, okay? We do operate in a nonprofit format, but we are not legally documented as a nonprofit. But we operate in that premise. That's why we partnered with the Greater New Braunfels Art Council to piggyback on their 5013C status. Okay, all right. Okay. PSA well, does anyone have any questions regarding to the tournament? Okay, let me ask you this. Have y'all taken that QR code and send it to your kids or grandkids that meet the requirement? And have you shared it on your Nextdoor app for everyone in your neighborhood so they can be aware of it? And have you shared it on your personal Facebook page so that other people might take advantage of it because they might not be in an area that gets the word? Okay. So with that said, if everyone could do that, that would be a great help in getting the word out. Okay. All right. PSA Interclub competition. Dennis, you're up. Well, he was there.
Dennis, you're muted.
Yeah, okay. Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already sent the pictures in for the last round of this year's competition. They're going to meet sometime after the 15th of April, and we should have the results back hopefully about the beginning to the middle of May. And so that'll be for not only this round, but all 3 rounds for the whole year. And so we'll see how we did there. The next round won't take place until next November, and it'll be next year's competition. It'll be November, February, and April of next year.
Okay, congratulations to Jerry, Jeff, Anthony, Frank, and Patricia and Brian. Okay, and here are the pictures that were submitted. Okay, and the title of the photographs that were submitted. Okay, there's no score yet because the scores haven't come back. Is Jerry here tonight?
I don't think so.
But Dennis, you told him we were submitting one of his photos?
Oh, yeah, he knows it.
Okay, okay. All righty. Okay, so all these photos are really good. In fact, I think only all these have been through a prior judging process, right? And they all scored 9s, right?
I don't think the one on the bridge has been through anything yet.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, we'll find out, okay? But everybody really, and I don't think has the staircase from the McNay been?
I don't know. I don't know about that one, but I know the rest of the other ones have.
All right,
The
well,
staircase is not.
okay. Well, regardless, Anthony and I both agreed that these are excellent photos, okay? And I think more of Anthony's pics got in than mine did, but Anthony's got an excellent eye, okay? So, but congratulations to all of you photographers. You do excellent work all the time, okay? So we'll be hard pressed to find better, okay? March 22 assignment black. Oh, okay. We're judged by PSA. These are already up on Facebook, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So last month we solicited your feedback as to what to do with the color and black and white images. And at the board meeting, it was determined that we would go ahead and continue to send all the photos up till we hit 30. Once we hit 30, we have to cut it off at that. So if we start getting more than 30 photos, I'm sorry, guys. Hang on just a second. You know, that's what happens. Your pups become teenagers and they just don't do anything but talk back. Okay. We decided that we submit everything. If we start getting multiple entries above 30, then we'll have to decide there what to do. Okay. But I would say, everyone, if you see that 1 month we've only got like 25 entries, and you're working on something that you'd like some feedback on, go ahead and email Dennis and ask him if he's got room to send it in, but you need to do it quick. Okay. And Dennis, let me know if you start getting inundated with
Okay,
hundreds of files, then we'll come up with another way.
All right.
Okay. But based on the current participation we have, I would think maybe you get 2 or 3 photos submitted and asking for extra help. Okay. All righty. And that's just me off the cuff. We didn't discuss that before this. So if it doesn't work, then we'll readdress it next month. Okay, PSA monthly critiques. Okay, I kind of jumped the gun here. Okay, yeah, I did jump the gun. This slide tells you everything I just told you in the last slide. Okay. All righty. Art League. Daryl, are you here tonight?
Yeah, finally.
All
I made
right,
it.
all right.
Okay.
Daryl, the
League.
master cyber sleuth, has cracked the egg on how to get in, and he is going to share with us. We got some slides for you, Daryl, so you can work from the slides, okay?
Okay, that'll work all right. Yeah, Wonders of Water is the first time that the artists at the Art League will be able to enter something. As you see on May 23rd, that's for anyone who's a member of the Art League. And that's not too late to join the Art League if you're interested in selling your work, and which we do there fairly regularly. The jury day, in order to keep your work up year round rather than just for a show like Wonders of Water, jury day, as you see there on the screen, is one time only in the summer, June 4th. And you have to wait till December if you're not up to par. Any questions? No questions. I rest my case.
Okay, great. And you see, Holly's added QR codes. So if you, rather than write all this down and try to get the PDF for the event, you can just scan the QR code and take you right to it. Okay. Okay, additional call for entries. A. Smith Gallery has 2 call for entries up right now. May 16th is deadline and June 27th is the deadline. We have, you can go to the website and just click on the call for entries and pull these up and get the description of the kind of thought process they're looking at toward the types of entries to submit. And then River Clicks Photo Contest. Okay, this is a new one for me. Holly, you want to tell us something about it?
One of the members brought it up last month at the meeting. It's the San Antonio River Authority looking for images due May 31st. I don't know a lot more details than that, but the QR code will take you to all of the information for that call.
Okay, thanks, Holly. Okay. And then the Tamarron National Parks Photo Contest. What I can tell you about that is it has to be a photo taken at a national park, and part of the entry, when you submit that photo, you have to submit in the details of the photo which national park it was taken in. Okay. And it's free to enter. There's absolutely no cost to enter that contest that I'm aware of. If someone does try to submit something and somewhere through the submission process, you're asked to submit payment of any kind, please let me know. But to my knowledge, there is no entry fee. And I'm planning on entering a couple of my Big Ben photos. And if anyone else enters, let us know, okay? And maybe we can have a National Park Photo Contest get together and party to comfort each other for not winning. Or congratulate the one winner. Okay. All right, open discussion. This is where we go around the room and talk about stuff. And I'm going to be the first one to talk since I'm already got the floor and the open mic. This is a pro bono volunteer outreach event that was conducted by our master photographer, Dennis Denny. I guess, have you been doing this like every year for the last how many years, or every other year, Dennis? Your mute button, Dennis. You're still muted.
Dennis, you're muted.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, they do this every year. It's the pinning ceremony and the award ceremony for the Canyon Lake Fire Department. And, you know, I go in and take the photos inside, and we do this photo of the firemen on their ladder truck every year.
Yeah, I was able to be there and watch Dennis at work, and I tell you what, being able to get all those people lined up and everything, yeah.
That was Angela. That wasn't me.
But awesome job, and you can see in the behind the scenes thing there. He's got 4 600-watt lights set up to try to offset some of the shadows, and it's a pretty good event. So
You almost needed a panorama. It's
What?
so hot, huh?
Well, it has to be a panorama. That
Yeah.
fire truck is huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Really good job, Dennis.
Thank you.
yeah, my first question when I saw the truck was, have you ever used the ladder? Because I don't think you got any buildings big enough for it.
Oh, they use the ladder because we do have some buildings that are big enough, but it's very useful in river rescues.
Yeah, that's what everybody said. And for all the folks that think they can go through that low water crossing and then find out they can't.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. All righty. And that's the only volunteer outreach thing that we have for this month. Okay. So for the membership, if you know of an organization that could use, well, we use the volunteer outreach program as a way for our photographers to practice their photography and provide a community service. Okay. Ralph is our volunteer coordinator. So usually when requests come in, we forward them to Ralph, and Ralph will reach out to people. Ralph would either handle it himself or reach out to people that has said they would volunteer to shoot photos. Okay. Our volunteer efforts since the coronavirus has taken a big hit, but prior to the coronavirus, we had 1 or 2 volunteer events every month, and different photographers were taking part. The biggest one we had was the Comel Senior Center monthly event there. And then there's been a few other places that we volunteered photography for. Okay. All right. Hopefully we can start getting back in that realm of things. Okay. Spring photo walk, Thursday, the 28th of April. The plan right now is to meet at the Wembley Cafe at 8 o'clock for breakfast. And if that's too early for you, still feel free to come up. We'll start the photo walk around 9 o'clock. And the address is 101-A Wimberley Square. if you're going down FM 12 toward Wembley, as long as you stay on that, you'll eventually run into the Wembley Cafe on the left in the town square. Okay. If you are going to come out and join us on the photo walk, please, and you're going to come early enough for breakfast, shoot me a text or an email and let me know. So when I get there at like 7:30, I can give them an idea of how big a table I need to reserve. Okay. All right. And that's all I've got as far as we're not going to do photo review. We're still doing around the room. Let me open up the gallery here. And okay, well, we've got like 20 people here. So tell you what, I'm just going to ask for volunteers. Who has got something to share with the club? And this is how we find out about things going on. You know, last month somebody shared something about the River Authority and things like that. So if you got something you want to share, just unmute your mic, and if we have more than one person at the same time, I'll pick the voice I recognize and we'll go from there.
I've got something real quick.
All right, Michael.
Just that reminder about the coffee this Wednesday morning at the Panera Bread at 181 Creekside Crossing in New Braunfels is where we're having it this week. So turnout's been a little light on the last couple, so come out and join us. Come and go as you want. From 8 to 9, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Come and go as you please. So.
Is that on the meetup site, Michael?
Yes.
On the New Braunfels meetup site?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that the right location, or?
That is the right location.
Okay.
It totally slipped my mind. Okay.
What's the date?
Thanks for that reminder. Yeah,
April 13th.
Yeah, our monthly coffee is Wednesday. Yeah, this Wednesday, Panera Bread, Creekside. 8 o'clock, and stay until you got somewhere to go. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I have a question, Victor. This is Suzanne.
Yep.
It was brought up last meeting, wanting to know what the difference between street photography for June and then July is urban. So specifically, what's the difference between the two?
I'm gonna let Holly address that. Okay, but I'll just give my 2 cents. To me, street photography is more people oriented, sidewalk vendors, people crossing the street. Urban to me is more architecture and
Cityscape?
maybe some cityscapes or other things going on, but that's my thought. Holly, I think you probably came up with the definition.
Yeah, I think that's what we all kind of agreed on, was that street photography is more up close and personal as you're walking down a sidewalk kind of thing, and urban is a little bit broader. Cityscapes definitely fall in that category, and architecture as well, as Victor mentioned. I think when I went and did a little more reading, some people use them interchangeably, so I could see why there's some confusion, and perhaps we should have tightened up the categorization a little bit better when we were creating these for this year. But so cityscapes, we've got lots of wonderful cityscapes we've had in our galleries in the past. Those will work. And anything, urban, we kind of thought of it as like we did a rural one last year, I think. So we're kind of thinking opposite for urban. Does that help at all?
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anybody else? Okay. Melissa, you got,
Victor,
yeah.
Victor, I do have a question about the Tamron National Park. Actually, maybe two questions. Does it have to be shot with the Tamron lens? I haven't gone and looked at it yet because that's the first I've seen it. And is there a time frame when the picture has to be taken?
Those are two excellent questions. And to my knowledge, I'm kind of, and it's been a little while since I looked at the requirements, but it seems like to me, I don't remember that it had to be a Tamron lens. Of course, I'm going to use a Tamron lens to try to hedge my bet. And time frame, I don't believe so. Okay.
I submitted one and neither one of those were requirements.
Okay. So you already submitted one, Dennis?
Yeah.
What'd you submit?
Well, I can't remember which one it was, but it was Grand Teton National Park.
Oh gosh, dog. How do you
But
compete?
he
How do
got
you
a winner
compete?
there.
How do you compete
Yeah,
against
that's a good
that?
one.
You know?
I have some pictures of the New River Bridge, which is one of the newest national parks. They just turned it into a national park about a year or so ago up
Oh
in
gosh, dog.
Virginia.
Yeah. The only thing I've got is, well, I've got some from the Smokies that are
Yeah,
probably about 7 years old or
I've got
8
some
years
from
old.
Shenandoah also, but
Yeah,
now I'm going to have to choose.
but I got some from Big Ben. Well, I was going to submit from Big Ben. That's all I got to work with. But who knows?
I just scanned the official rules, Melissa, and I didn't see anything about having to shoot with a Tamron lens or any date restrictions.
Okay, thank you.
But
I'll
they are
check
giving,
into it.
they will be giving away Tamron lenses.
Okay, I could
Okay.
get another one of those.
Okay, cool. All right, anybody else? Nobody? Okay. Holly, would you mind guiding us through the assignment photos?
Sure.
Okay.
No
All right.
problem.
My voice is starting to go on me.
I think first up is Melissa, Dark
Ooh.
Hollow Falls, if I'm remembering correctly.
All right. So remind everybody, each artist has two, and we don't run a timer or anything on that, but you get a chance to set the photo up before we open it up to the membership for comments. So here we go.
Okay, so this is actually in Virginia in the Shenandoah Mountains, Shenandoah National Park. And I didn't spend a lot of time setting up because it was very crowded around this double waterfall. But I spent a lot of time getting there, hiking down a hill. And it was not a great hill to be hiking down. It was kind of precarious in places, but it was harder getting out because it was uphill. But it was beautiful once we got there. And I can remember starting down the hill and seeing this tiny little trickle. And I was like, oh my God, I really hope there's more than this if I'm going to walk all the way down this mountain. And then there was another little bigger trickle. And then when we finally got to the bottom of it, there was this, and it was just gorgeous. Now I did do a little editing because we had, when I took it, I was trying to get like a starburst at the top where the sun was shining through the trees, but that didn't work out so well for me. And it ended up looking more like a white blotch where the sun was. So I kind of just got rid of that and got rid of a few dead trees that were distracting, but that's all I've done to it, really.
Melissa, were you handheld or did you use a tripod?
It was handheld because I knew that I was, well, first of all, I was hiking and I had to carry it for, a couple miles. I did good to carry the camera. And it was wet, really, really wet down there. So yeah, it was handheld.
Well, I'm impressed with how much of the silkiness to the water you got with your 1/8 shutter speed handheld, and everything else looks pretty crisp. So well done.
Thank you.
This is Old Fishing Hole in Seguin. Now, they've got a park there near downtown. And in desperation, I was over there last weekend, or weekend before last, and this is about all I could find.
Sorry, minor emergency. Has Daryl started speaking yet? Daryl, you're up. You're muted.
Yeah, I filled in with my deliberations on this.
Holly, let me jump in for a second. If after the artist has set their photo up and Holly's made her comments, if anybody in the membership would like to add a comment, go ahead and jump in there and add it. And then after, and if I don't hear anybody wanting to comment, then I'll advance the slide.
That sounds good. Well, Daryl, I like how you have a like leading line with the water and then the archway of the bridge. It's a nice composition. My only suggestion might be to take out the white rocks near the bottom of the frame because they're just a little distracting. Maybe just crop it up a little bit or remove them. But it's very nice. I like the composition a lot.
Okay. So I'm glad I took out all that yellow tape that ran down the hill there in the upper foreground. That was really distracting.
That was a good move, yes.
Good choice.
Is that where you shot somebody?
No, but I could.
We've got Ice Cold by Anthony Sheeran. Anthony, tell us about your photo.
Well, it's a big stock tank. I shouldn't say stock tank, y'all. That's a pond out here. It's a water tank that we have for the horses and one we're not using. So I set it on a table on our patio, put some coolers and stuff in there to raise it up so I didn't have to fill it up with ice. Those are obviously water bottles and put ice in there. It was early in the morning, around 8 o'clock-ish, I'm saying. And the sun was just coming up. So there's all natural light. There's no artificial light on there. And it was shot it with my 70 to 200 2.8, and the overall I'm okay. It's water, which was the topic. There's some back and forth in my mind about some of the water bottles in the back or in the middle, I guess it should be in the image. If I should have focus stacked it some to get those in focus, but in the end, I think it came out okay. So appreciate any comments.
Yeah, I think you did good. You got less things to distract. You got one more singular focal point this way.
Thank you.
I thought it was a clever interpretation of water. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Suzanne. Appreciate that.
I like how you let it warm up just enough to get some dew on the outside of the bottles and the ice to melt a little bit, because it adds just a little bit more visual interest. And then the bokeh is really nice in the background too.
Thank you, Holly. And the ice did melt, and actually had to run and get another bag of ice because anyway, but the dew is actually K-Rose syrup mixed with water. And I put in a spray bottle and sprayed it on there. So that made it look like there was the water droplets on the bottle.
Nice touch.
Very clever.
What a cheater.
Well, sort of.
Sneaky snake.
Yeah, there you go. That way the water would stay there, wouldn't run all the way down. So, yeah.
Good job.
Anthony, this is Tony. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When you're working with that, with the water and all the potential glare that you get off of that, how did you, from an exposure standpoint, what did you have to deal with to get through that?
Not a whole lot, actually, Tony, to be honest with you. Like I say, it was natural light. It was really soft coming up there. And I was out there. I thought the sun was going to rise a little bit faster than it was. And so I was all ready and everything and had the ice in there, and then the ice started melting. So that's when I had to go run to the store, get some more ice, come back, put it in there. And then sun had risen up a little bit better. But I really didn't have a whole lot to do with that. I think I did. What did I do? I can't remember a whole lot of what I did with that one as far as the exposure goes. I'm sure it compensated a little bit, but I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah.
Okay, we have In Reflection by Jeff.
Okay, this was actually at the Santa Clara, basically photo ranch down north of Edinburgh. This was an early morning shot there. I photoshopped out some really small debris on the water line, but the whole water effect on this thing was a natural effect. There was very little editing on this.
That's a very nice capture. Good job.
It is very beautiful. And the water is so still, it almost looks like a mirror. It looks a little richer on my other computer, the colors. I was like, oh, it looks a little muted with the colors, but it's just the monitor I'm on my laptop, because my other computer, it's like super beautiful, perfect colors and everything.
And that bird looks like he's gonna, he's getting ready to get in a fight with himself. The expression on his face, I guess, looking at that.
Yeah, that's the only look he's got.
Did you think about doing a portrait crop on him?
Honestly, I hadn't. That's an interesting idea.
I think the waterline is very useful to this image. So it helps to have a horizontal.
Good point, Ralph. Oh, we've got Milltown Dam by Ralph.
Yeah, I was hunting around for some water. Wasn't quite so creative, but so I went down by the Faust Bridge and walked down to this bottom here. Just got a shot. It was on a tripod. And I use a neutral density filter, so you have a long enough exposure. Any questions?
So I'm guessing you used a tripod in this?
That's correct.
Okay.
Has anybody been down to Milltown?
I have, but not from that perspective. I've gone down there a bunch of times, and I love the Faust Bridge and just, the water beneath it and all that, but I have not photographed it from this perspective.
Yeah, they just replaced all the wood on the Faust Bridge.
It's nice.
Tony, are you here tonight? I'd like to hear about your Purple Rain picture.
I am here. Thank you. So I had been experimenting with a new camera, and I've been trying to do things just around the house. And I had kind of haphazardly just kind of noticed on the shower door, the water because I'd been kind of thinking, what can I do with water for the theme? And kind of noticed this through the glass of the shower and decided not to take my new camera in there and get it wet. So I did use my iPhone, but I splashed water on it and took multiple pictures to try to get a frame. So the distortion on the flower in the background and that is all from the water. I didn't do anything. The only thing I did afterwards was just kind of change, do some of the highlights and stuff, straightened out the window edge. We have a large frosted window in there to bring in the natural light into the room so that there's always some nice light on those flowers. So kind of just experimented with it being looked through the water splashed on the shower door into that corner over there.
I really like how artistic this is, Tony, and it reminds me of things I'd see at Amanda's gallery in Johnson City. So next time she's got a call for anything, I don't know, it's really open to interpretation because this kind of tells a story, you know, is someone grieving or is someone celebrating? And, you know, are you looking in from outside? And I think it's a really interesting picture. I think you could do a lot with it.
Thank you.
I think it's a shame that you didn't use your expensive camera, but that's a really clever image. I like it a lot.
I just didn't want to ruin it after the first 2 months of having it. So I didn't want to risk it this time.
Understandable. It's a very clever shot though.
What did you get, Tony? We're all curious.
I got a Sony A7C.
Nice.
Welcome to the dark side of Sony with us.
You're very welcome.
I was just sending you that text, Michael. Another one's gone to the dark side.
Yeah. Well, Fuji's all on back order, so that wasn't going to be my first choice, but I'm really happy with it. I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I ended up with a full frame too. So
Tony, what was your camera before the Sony?
Well, the last camera I used regularly that was 35 millimeter, trying to think if it was my Canon 650 film camera or my Yashica FX3. So it's been a long time. And I've been using a phone camera for multiple years in that. So I just, after we moved here and just going around, I wanted to take advantage of a larger camera. And as I started doing more photography after we moved down here.
Okay, well, you're lucky that Fuji was on back order because you would have regretted that decision.
I beg your pardon.
Hey,
Okay.
no fights, no fights.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Next up, we've got Brian. Splish splash, I'm taking a bird bath.
Yeah, Jeff and I were both at the Santa Clara Ranch down in the valley north of Edinburgh. And this is a green jay that, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, but usually you can only find it down in this area. So again, the water reflection and splashing around, I just couldn't resist this. It's really the only thing I did to this is maybe crop a little bit, but other than that, it's pretty much untouched.
Great
So-
job freezing the water spray. That's just so fun.
Thank you, Holly.
And yeah, I like it how it almost makes like a circle around the back part of him. It's really great action freezing there.
Thank you, Holly.
And the reflection of all of that in the water too. That's kind of cool.
Thank you, Anthony.
I think I would just like to see a little bit of space around his tail, but it was probably not where you cropped. So I would guess that was probably where he was when you in frame, right?
Right. I dared not crop near there. Unfortunately, these birds are very flighty, and the framing is really luck sometimes to get it where you want it. But if I had to do it over again, I'd ask the bird to move over a little bit more.
Well, the colors are great. The crispness, everything looks great.
Thank you. Any other?
I'm not sure Eric is here. Is Eric here tonight? Well, we can give him some feedback even if he is not. I don't see him on the list tonight. So we don't know how he set this up, but under the doc by Eric, would anybody like to offer Eric some feedback? Well, I will say, I don't think I've ever seen one of these pier shots in daytime in black and white where it's really bright, and I kind of like it. It's a little different. I like the texture of the wood, and the reflection's really nice too.
I think it would have been effective, a little more effective if he cropped a little more of the water out. So you're really focusing in on the wood, but you'd still see enough of the reflection. But right now it's a fight between the reflection and the pier itself to me. Just hold your hand up and just crop a little of the water out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the opposite approach, Ralph, because the theme is water. So I don't think I would take any of the water out, but I see what you're saying. The reflection is what you're referencing of the pier rather than the water itself.
Well, or maybe making the horizon line at the upper 2/3 portion and cropping a little bit of the bridge out. So the focus is down on the end of the dock. I don't know. I think maybe it's the center where the horizon's right through the center that is a little like composition where it's telling us both to do different things.
You know, I think it's a little off horizontal.
It does feel a little crooked, doesn't it?
I kept focusing on that, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. That's an easy fix though. And last, we have Water Fun by Suzanne, our newest member. Welcome, and tell us about your picture.
This was not the picture I was intending to take. I had in my mind's eye a couple of other shots that I wanted to get, but they just weren't coming out. And so this was my last ditch effort. I went over to, this is kind of near Schlitterbahn, where they have that chute, you know, and I'm standing on the bridge and these kids look like they were having a good time. So I started taking pictures of the people going down the chute.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Yeah, the only thing I did to it was I cropped it a little bit on the right. And the reason why, even though that the inner tube is cut off, he was bumping right up against the wall and there's a red line painted on it and it was kind of distracting. So
that was a good choice.
Yeah, thanks.
I like the emotion on the kids' face.
I was just going to say that it tells a story. You can see they're having a great time, having a grand adventure, and they're perfectly in focus, and you got a great action shot. Well done.
Thanks. You know, what's funny is the picture I took right after this, I was shooting continuous. The kid with his feet up, he saw me taking his picture and then he looked at me and his expression completely changed.
And congratulations, Jeff. You are our winner this month with In Reflection. Well done.
Hey, Jeff.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Jeff.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, very
Absolutely.
nice. Very nice.
Beautiful shot.
Very nice, Jeff. Congratulations.
Good work, Jeff.
Now we'll review our black and white photos. First up is Canal by Dennis.
Well, yeah, this is in Venice, obviously, I think, right off the St. Mark's, just back behind the church. It's the Bridge of Sighs. The only problem that I see with the picture is the bridge is in the foreground there going across the top of the canal. And then you kind of go, your eyes go down to the rest of the canal. So I think there's a little conflict there as to where you want to look at the picture. But other than that, I like the picture.
Your black and white conversions are always so strong and so well done.
Well, I like black and white. So
You have a nice range of tones, and I love how reflective the water is. Even though it's dark, you can still see reflections. That's really nice.
Lots of good contrast between the shadows and the light.
Did you do HDR on this, Dennis?
no, I didn't. I did. I increased the contrast slider and maybe the texture slider a little.
Ah, okay.
Ralph. So do you just go up from where you were shooting the Milltown?
Yeah, I just stood up a little bit. No, I just went up to the, I parked in Milltown and I walked across the bridge. And I took this before I went all the way. Oh yeah, this is coming back because you can see the mill on the left side. There's some thought that they're going to make that into a hotel one day, but I doubt it, but we'll see. It was a nice, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you were finished.
There's not much to say about this one. It's just a pretty general shot of the bridge.
Well, I like this perspective because I've only ever seen shots straight down the middle of it. So I like this a lot.
Yeah, I like to get it off center. It gives it more dynamic, I think. More feel.
The shadow on the ground, the bridge structure also adds something to the leading line.
Yeah,
And wasn't it nice? Wasn't it nice of all the pedestrians to line up on that line too?
Yeah, it took me a while to get him over there, but I like to darken in the sky a bit, a little like Ansel Adams does. Not quite as much, but in that general vein.
Did you say you used a filter on this?
I didn't, no. Lightroom has a bunch of looks, and I used that and adjusted it just a little bit.
Looks great.
This is using the 1-inch crop sensor. It's the smallest sensor that Sony puts out on a professional, well, I call it a professional camera. It's 20 megapixels. I'm done.
Melissa, tell us about Poppy Barn.
Okay, so you guys probably have heard of the Poppy House that's down in Castroville. If you haven't, they really did not open to the public this year, but I think it's been maybe a couple years since I've been down there. Their whole yard is full of poppies in the spring. This year they didn't open because the poppies didn't really do well. And so this is from the back of the property. They have this barn, and it actually had a chair sitting right in the middle of it, which was a bit distracting. So I took that out. But other than that, and converting it to black and white, and then changing the texture and the The contrast, I didn't do much to it at all.
I like your conversion. The trees look, they have so much depth to them, and the grass does too. That where you're positioned with the tractor, it is like perfectly lined up within the foliage, doesn't intersect with anything else. And the barn just looks so cool with its texture and dilapidated wood. I really like this quite a bit.
Thank you.
The vegetation in the foreground kind of creates a layering effect. I like it.
Thank you. So if you guys haven't been down there, it's not that far. It's probably maybe an hour from where I live or so. And it's not just that property that's covered in poppies. There's properties all along that main street where this is, that they have poppies everywhere in the spring. It's usually, I want to say, in maybe April. I'd have to go back and look at the date of when this was taken. But I went down and spent, I mean, I think they charge like maybe $10 or something for you to get in to the yard, and you can spend as much time as you want to. It's just a really great day trip just to go hang out. And there's lots of stuff on the property besides this barn too to take pictures of. You can wander all over the place. It's kind of fun.
Daryl, you're up with the Sea of Galilee.
Yeah, it's the only thing I did here was to move the sign a little better. It was actually in another location, which didn't show anything in the landscape in the background. But other than that, that's what you see is what I got. Any questions?
Some pretty good tonalities. I don't see any strong whites except maybe the sky.
When were you in Israel?
When?
Yeah.
First time or the second time?
For the shot.
When I shot this, it was probably 15, maybe 12, 2012, 2015, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's an interesting place.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, and Eric isn't here. Smash and grab. I like all the texture. I'm not familiar with the camera he shot with this month. Is anyone familiar with a Ricoh?
Heard of it?
I've never heard of it.
Well, now you have.
Oh, I have. So it looks like it got a broken shell in the sand. And my only critique to him would be to either step back a little bit or use a smaller aperture to get just a little bit more in focus. Anybody else have any comments for Eric before we move on? Jeff didn't have a title for this one. I did ask him before we went to publish the galleries. Tell us about your picture.
This is actually at the Santa Clara Ranch again, and it was actually near sunrise. And it was a beautiful, some beautiful coloration, but I really wanted to see if it would convert to black and white, and I'm kind of pleased with the result.
Do you know
Yeah.
what kind of birds these are?
They're crested caracaras.
The eyes are so very sharp, just really pop.
So much detail in the wings too. So are the tops of their heads naturally dark?
Yes,
look
they
like they're
actually,
wearing little
they look like toupees, bad toupees.
Yeah, they're dyed. They're dyed. Come on.
Hey, Eric just joined us. Hi, Eric.
Hello.
Hi, Eric.
Yeah, I'm in a little bit different outfit today, so I'll be on mute and listening as I ride home.
Oh, cool. Well, we've reviewed 2 of your photos for you. So when you go back, get home and watch this on YouTube, you can hear your critiques if you want.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You won't like him.
He's just teasing you. Anthony, walking through life always by your side. Oh,
Yeah, this photo, I was photographing the Texas Senior Rodeo Association. This was, 3 years ago. I was their photographer, and there was a little bit of break in the rodeo, and I just happened to turn and I saw this couple walking, and then they had these stairs that they were going to go up that went to like a gangway or overwalk of it. But anyway, it wasn't in focus. I didn't have time. It was just like boom. It was just a quick snapshot, is what it was. And so it's one of those photos that was a throwaway photo, but I don't throw anything away. So I held on to it, and I thought, that would kind of convert over to black and white. And I kind of did a little bit of one of the Topaz impression deals on it. Could have done a better job in that, but I just thought it was just, I always remember this couple, older couple walking hand in hand. I just remember that. It's just one of those things that you just stick out. You just remember it. So anyway, that was it. And it was very bright that day too. So we were in the building and that sun was coming in. So it was very bright that way. So yeah.
well, I think using an like an impressionistic, except you said, the kind of filter that had a little bit of an impressionistic feel to it.
Right.
Yeah, that helps when you don't nail focus, because it kind of gives it a little bit of that, soft romantic kind of feel to it.
Thanks, Holly. Yeah, I could have done a better job with that, but that's okay.
I think the stairway and the title tie so well together. That's what caused me to really, really enjoy it.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you.
Now we're on to color photos. Daryl, tell us about Beach Boy.
This boy was trying to push the water back. I watched him for a while. He'd watch it roll in and then he'd push out with his arms so I tried to capture that particular moment. He never did succeed a whole lot, but he had fun trying. And so did I.
It's adorable. You can totally see that that desire to push it back and how he has his arms there. I love how you compose this too, where he is in the frame and seeing all the water above him, around him. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to do some cropping to get that composition. It wasn't natural.
Yeah, it's a nice job. I like it a lot.
I do too. There's texture down in the lower left corner and then just silky smooth up in the sand in the upper part. But the little boy pushing the water back, that'd be a proud parent to have that.
Brian Caballero.
Well, you say that so well. I can't trill my R's. This was taken at a day in Old Mexico, the Chavarita, if I pronounce it right, and happened to see this gentleman, and the lighting caught me in the costume against the brick wall, and all the stars all aligned. I kind of liked the way it looked. So
Yeah, you're right. The color is just beautiful composition. You nailed it.
thank you, Ralph.
I loved everything about this photograph. I love the colors. I love, yeah.
Thank
The
you, Suzanne.
composition's great. It's great.
I enjoy the shadows on his face. I think that kind of gives depth.
Yeah.
Very nice photo.
Yeah, I agree. I love the colors also, and that you can see both of his eyes, even though he's looking away. And yeah, it's really nice. I see there's a little brown something that's behind his ear coming down into his coat. I'm not sure what that is. Do you know what that is?
No, it could be part of the, boy, you have a great eye, Holly. I would assume that's the wall, but now I'm gonna have to go in and clone it out.
Well, I was really trying to be nitpicky, trying to find something to give you some CC about, and that was the only thing I could find. So,
Well, thank you. That's a good catch because, you know, I would have never seen that.
Dennis, Lake Jackson.
Yeah, this is Lake Jackson's in Grand Teton National Park, and it was, I don't know, probably right after lunch or something. It was a right part of the day, but I like the, you know, the progression from the shallow water to the center reflection and up to the mountains.
And those clouds reflected in the water are just everything. It adds so much to see those clouds down in the water too. It's just beautiful. It looks like a postcard.
It does, and with all the clear water and all those colors, not only in the water, but over on the right side, I mean, it's really, really pretty.
Is this
Really.
one you submitted?
No, I didn't. No, the one I
That's
submitted,
beautiful.
I think, well, I had several of them that had the mountains. These are not the spectacular mountains, but they're the one I submitted had the whole mountain range.
You know, that postcard effect, I think I see a little bit of a postmark in the upper corner there. You sure?
Yeah. Could be.
Did you use a filter on this?
No, I don't. I might have had a polarizing filter on there. I can't remember.
It's a great photo.
Is there any way you can move the camera from where you're standing over to the left to block out a lot of that yellow and hillside? I shot the place a couple of times and I don't remember that you're able to. I mean, to get a better shot.
Actually, I have a more of a panorama of it, but you still get that, you know, the yellow hill, whatever it is in it. So
I don't know. I really like that yellow. It gives you some other color to sort of balance all the blue in there. It really gives it a more friendly look.
Yeah, I like that yellow as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I like it too. And there's a hint of it all the way across the bottom of that mountain.
yeah, well, it does that. Yeah, it goes back around and across the bottom of the mountain there. Yeah, there's a, you know, bunch of trees and I guess a sandy beach type of thing.
Yeah, that sandy line in there, that beach line makes a nice composition out of it.
Milltown Entrance by Ralph. You're muted, Ralph.
Sorry, yes, as I was walking back to the car, I see this door and I just like the look of a little bit of broken here and peeling paint there and the year. It just sort of looked like a good shot to me.
I have a thing for doors. I actually have a whole collection, an album of just doors, because I'm fascinated by all the different styles in the world. And this just tells a great story. I mean, it's just so dilapidated and you got the great texture. And, you know, I know the sun was a little harsh, but you did a great job not blowing anything out and colors look good.
Well, thank you. You can have this door.
You make a present of it, okay?
Give her the door.
Okay, so this was also in Shenandoah National Park, and it was just as we were driving around to some of the hiking trails. And I loved that it was kind of the beginning of fall. The colors were starting to get pretty vibrant, but in places, and the fact that there was a curve up ahead and you didn't quite know what you were going to see up there.
Yeah,
And
the
there was a
leading
handy
line.
pullout.
I'm sorry.
I'd say there was a handy pullout where you get off the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just commenting on the great job with the leading line and you know, being able to see the road kind of curve away from you there. It's a nice composition and the colors are so pretty with the fall foliage. There's a little bit of darker blue in some of the lacy parts of the trees in the sky. I'm not sure if that was like maybe chromatic aberration or something. I'm just not quite sure what it is.
On the right?
Yeah, the lacy part of the tree up in the
Yeah.
skyline just looks a little bluish. Does anybody else see that?
Okay.
Is it just me?
I'll have to go back and look at it in detail to see.
Well, if it's CA, it's a really easy click. You may have to just up that blue-green slider a little bit, but it should take it out if that's what it is.
Okay.
Anthony, tell us about Thirsty Squirrel.
Well, this was one that was at Guadalupe State Park. Michael and I went over there to the bird line, and they have a water feature, and the squirrels were there drinking water. So that was when I got there, and that was, I'm sorry, there's no metadata, but that was taken with the D750 and the 200 to 500 Nikon lens, 5.6, I think that is, on a tripod. And yeah, I don't remember all the rest of it, but yep, that's it.
He's a cutie, and you got a nice catchlight in the eye. Good job.
Yep, thank you.
Great detail. Every little hair on his body shows.
Thanks, Patricia. Yeah.
Thirsty by Patricia.
All right, this was taken with a Nikon D5300 and a Tamron 18 to 200 lens. That was taken at the Pearl, the splash pad at the Pearl. You were just having a good old time.
I was there when you took that photo, Patricia, I think, right? When we were all there together for the photo walk.
Yes.
And that image, and there was one I think you had of the dog too, I think. But anyway, that was one I just really, really liked. I've always enjoyed that because that kid was having so much fun.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And Jeff, tell us about this picture of yours.
And this again is at the Santa Clara Ranch. Green Jay, and the Green Jays I think are found as far north as Choke Canyon, but otherwise isolated to South Texas. And this is a Wasatch branch. And they had actually put a little bit of bark butter on the Wasatch to get the birds to come play.
Well, I like the V formation there, that you were just lucky, but it just works perfectly.
Yeah.
I'll take that kind of luck all day long.
And having his
Have to.
feather completely stretched out like that's just amazing. Just so cool.
The eye shows exceptionally well because of the way the black kind of encircles the eye. It's really difficult to ever see one of their eyes, and the catch light is fantastic.
That's the beauty of rapid sequence exposures, but they get startled, they move around, and when they do it, it's really fascinating. They go from simply beautiful to stunning.
Eric, we are looking at your watching the waves picture. Are you in a place where you can tell us about it?
Oh, I'm doing 65 miles an hour on my motorcycle, so it's all good. I'm able to talk through my headset. So I was at Rockport with our Harley owners group last weekend, and that's where all the pictures basically came from. And I was walking down the beach to the pier, and this young lady was sitting there just watching the water, and I approached her and asked her, I said, hey, do you mind? I've actually got some work I'm doing for our camera club, and I need to, I was wondering if I could take your picture. She said, oh, absolutely. And it ends up she's actually a photographer herself. So
Well,
it was
that was
neat to
handy.
get to visit with her and get to take her picture.
It's really good. It tells a story.
So we were asking, I wasn't familiar with the camera you use, the Ricoh GR3. What is that?
Correct. It's basically like a pocket camera. It's got a 24 megapixel APS-C sensor, and I had gotten it specifically to have on rides when I'm on my bike, so that I can have something with me. I've got actually has a little holster that fits on my belt, so I'm able to have a camera with me wherever I go now, basically. So I really have enjoyed shooting with it. Yeah, it's a great little camera.
Isn't that a Japanese make?
They all?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Is that a Japanese make?
Yes, it is.
I believe they're owned by Pentax. I think so. Pentax and Ricoh are.
Yeah, I remember that as one of the earliest of the digital cameras when the digital first came out.
Yeah. And part of the reason I liked it because not only is it a 24 megapixel sensor, but it's also image stabilized as well. So yeah, it's a very fun little camera.
Oh,
what's the zoom range on it?
It's a fixed lens. It's a 28 millimeter fixed lens.
Okay, that's pretty useful. That's good.
And it's a f2.8 lens.
Well, back to the image, I like the that she's wearing a blue cap and a blue sweater, and I think even the dark red of her chair kind of goes well. But then the little blanket on her lap is a little distracting, and the Academy words on the back of the chair are a little distracting. So I might clone out the Academy logo and maybe try converting it to black and white and see what it looks like.
Right. No, I agree.
Drive safe, buddy.
Will do. I'm coming back from Bandera, so thank you very much.
All right, Victor, do you want to take back over? Or do you want me to finish up?
No, I got it. Thanks, Holly. Okay. Theme for May is macro. And everybody, please submit something. Okay. I know we're all going up against the macro queen, but everybody grab you either a close-up filter or a macro lens and go out and shoot something. Okay. This is the list of themes for the rest of the year. So if you're on vacation somewhere and you find something that you think would fit a future theme, keep it in mind. Okay. And that brings us to the end of the meeting. And before we close, I took time to read the chat menu And so far, I got one person that is going to be joining me on the spring photo walk in Wimberley. Hopefully we'll have some more, but if not, we'll come back with some great pictures and hopefully have a great breakfast and a great lunch and a great stop at the winery while we're out there. Okay. There was something I was going to add. Somebody commented on it and I was going to bring it up and then now I've forgotten. Well, okay. My loss. Okay. Last chance for anybody to share anything good for the order. Nobody? Okay. Members of the board, is there anything that you want to discuss after everybody drops off? Or are we good?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. Eric, are you still on with us?
Yes, I'm still on.
Okay. If you don't mind, could you stay on until everybody's off?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of the April meeting. Just a reminder, coffee on Wednesday at the Creekside Panera, and the spring photo walk is coming up, and potentially a education in-person meeting in the next couple of weeks if I can work it out with the library. And if all that comes together, I'll send out a mass email to the entire membership. So with that said, Beverly, can you email me an updated membership roster?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thanks, Beverly. Okay, that's it. I bid everyone a good night. And for those of you traveling, safe travels. And we are, let's see, stop the share.